Hi, my name's Jim Keane. I'm an Assistive Technology Specialist with Disability Services at the University of Hull. This video tutorial will look at a piece of software called Inspiration and its basic use. Back in the diagram view, I now want to add a reference to an external item. So I select the symbol I want to link, in this case kettle. Next, I click on the hyperlink button. The hyperlink window appears. Note that I have options for web page, email, file, or new inspiration document. For now, we'll concentrate on the web page. Here you can see the beginning of a web address. If I know the web address off by heart, I can simply type the web address in here. However, it will be a lot easier and a lot more accurate to copy and paste it in. So let's go back to our previous article. Now obviously, I don't want to search for sugar anymore. So let's turn it back into a web search and let's type in my new search criteria. Now, looking down, I can find a very good scholarly article here from Wikipedia. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend Wikipedia for academic work, but it can be useful in this context. Click on the web address up here. Clicking once should select all of the address. Next, we want to copy it to the computer's clipboard. To do that, we can either right-click on the web address and select copy, or we could press and hold down the Control key and then tap the C key. It would do the same thing. Next we go back to Inspiration, which is waiting very patiently for us to paste our hyperlink in. Just like we did with the web address, I can right click in the box and go to paste. Note how it puts it in without me having to remember what the address is and key it in absolutely perfectly. When I click on OK, it saves the web address within the inspiration document. Now, just to prove this works, I'll close down the web page and reopen it again from the link. Now obviously you're not going to be using this for a Wikipedia article in your very scholarly work. However, there is a chance that you will use this to include references to e-journals and electronic articles from appropriately scholarly sources. In the same way that we hyperlink to WebLink to a symbol, we can also hyperlink a file to a symbol. Simply follow the same process, but this time click the option for File, then click the Select File button. Select the file that you want to link to, then click OK. This doesn't insert the file inside the inspiration document, but it creates a link that points to that file. So unfortunately, if you move or delete that file, the hyperlink will no longer work. However, provided we're sensible, the link allows us to open up the document. Again, we could use this for electronic journals that we'd saved to our local computer. It can help with us organising our work and also gathering our references. Whilst working in the outline view, you can still add extra topics or symbols as they would appear in the diagram view and notes. If I wanted to add an extra note to Stir, I could simply click on Stir, press return, and I can put a note in below it. I could also click the note button on the toolbar. Stir 3 times. Now let's say I wanted to add another topic. Simply click the topic button, type in the next symbol. Once you're happy with your outline view and also with your diagram that it's linked to, click the transfer button. You'll have several options here, including the ability to include the diagram, and you get a small preview here which shows you how your document will look. I'm not going to include my diagram as I'm happy for that to stay in Inspiration, but I want to transfer everything else through. If I click on OK, the first prompt I should see will ask me to save my Inspiration document first. This stops you from losing your Inspiration document when you move to a new Word document. Once you've saved your Inspiration document, it'll ask you which word processor you want to use. Just accept the default. Now you should see that it's transferred all of the information from your Inspiration document into a Word document. This is a standard Word document that I can type in however I like. Whilst producing a well-structured essay plan and framework for you to produce your document from is fairly exciting, a much more exciting use of Inspiration is when you're producing a presentation. In this case, use Inspiration as before, and then click on the File menu, go down to Export, and click the PowerPoint Slides tab. This will turn your mind map into a well-structured PowerPoint presentation. Once you've saved it, it won't automatically open like it did for Word. Simply go down to the Start menu and look for it within the recent documents. You should now see that you have a series of slides which have the same information as your Inspiration mind map. With a few clicks you can change this very boring looking black on white design into something a bit more attractive. Once you've found the design that you like, you can then select that design and you're ready to run your slideshow. The key advantage to using Inspiration as the source for your presentation is that it will be able to produce notes that match your slides. Normally when people are presenting, they have to make a great deal of effort to make sure their slides and notes match. However, using the same route for both will mean that this happens without you having to think about it. You'll also find that your presentation flows more logically because it's been structured logically. So in our example here, I would go on to say, today we're going to look at making a cup of tea. We're going to talk about the ingredients we need, then we're going to talk about the utensils that we'll need to use and the process that we will follow. In terms of ingredients, we'll need some tea bags, personal favourite of mine is Assam, some water, some milk and some sugar. Moving on to look at the utensils, we'll need a kettle, teapot, mug and spoon. When we look at the process, we know that we'll have to let the tea brew, we'll need to boil a kettle, we'll need to stir the tea bags, it's important to make sure we do that 3 times, and we'll also have to pour the tea out of the teapot. Inspiration is installed on all of our open access computers at the University of Hull. You can also download a free trial from inspiration.com, and this will last you 30 days. If you find Inspiration incredibly useful, particularly in the diagram view, it may be an indication that you have a specific learning difficulty, like dyslexia or dyspraxia. If this is the case, I'd recommend that you get screened for a specific learning difficulty. Students at the University of Hull can access this for free by coming up to the third floor of the Students' Union and seeing Student Support Services. Just ask about dyslexia screening. If you are diagnosed with a specific learning difficulty, you will be eligible for certain support under the Disabled Students Allowance. This is an allowance which can pay for all sorts of support, not just software but also one-to-one tuition and group support. Okay, you've listened to me and you've seen how I use Inspiration. It's now time for you to give it a try yourself. Remember, you can pause this video at any time to follow the instructions at a pace that suits you. First things first, you're going to need to start the software. If you're at a University of Hull computer, this is generally under the networked applications. So click Start, All Programs, Network Applications, Assistive Software, Inspiration. If the software is installed locally, this is generally a bit easier. Click Start, Programs, Inspiration, Inspiration. Once the software has finished starting up, it'll ask you what you want to do. Click Create a Diagram. This should open up a blank page with a little box in the centre or a little circle in the centre which says Main Idea. Click on this and type in a different main idea. You could also use a hobby that you're interested in. Once you've entered your main idea, use the rapid fire tool and start entering ideas associated with it. Press the return key after each idea and you'll get a new symbol. Once you finish entering your ideas, organise them by bringing things that belong together near each other, then disconnecting arrows from main idea and adding in subcategories. Once you've finished organising your ideas, switch to the outline view and export your Inspiration document to PowerPoint. Remember, click the File menu, then Export and select the PowerPoint tab. Once exported, open your new PowerPoint document and check that your information's come across correctly. If it hasn't, look again at the structure of your Inspiration document, both in the outline view and in the diagram view, and see if you can correct it. If you can't, try revising the earlier section of this video and seeing how I use Inspiration, and compare the structure of my mind map to the structure of your own. The final task in this tutorial is to export your Inspiration document to Microsoft Word. You can do this either by using the File and Export method or by clicking the Transfer button on the toolbar. I hope you find this video tutorial useful. It's just a small example of the support that we offer to students at the University of Hull.